So today we're going to talk about Donald Trump and our state of humanity, and what's going on with our. Do you like my incense? I want to go a little shout out to incense. So what's going on with Donald Trump and what's going on with society? Go back to junior high school. Remember when there was that one kid that was just really annoying and everybody would just gang up on them and they were maybe the bully, and then it got to a point where the classroom got really annoyed and they started being like, hey, why are you such a jerk, you know? And then it became a mob mentality where everybody was going after one person, and the question became, is that right? Is that right? Whether we think that that person is right or wrong, is it justifiable for us to become a mob mentality and pick one person and be like, that's our scapegoat. That's the person that ultimately I think that whatever happens and whatever it is, we can sit there and point fingers, but ultimately we are responsible for what is happening. That's my personal belief, whether you agree with it or not. So pointing fingers doesn't really help. Yeah, pointing fingers doesn't really help. It's a much more complicated subject. I'm not diminishing the aspect of victims. I'm not removing the concept of victims. But I do want to say that it puzzles me. And when I see, when we saw everybody, when we saw Donald Trump take the stage and people were like, yay, Donald, we started to say to ourselves, well, what is this going to say to our children? Or is it going to teach our children that bullying is okay, that humiliating and belittling people and speaking out of ignorance, and is that's okay? And a lot of us agreed that no, it's not. So I think there became a growing number of individuals who were against Donald Trump. But in the process, I think as the numbers grew and the people that were against Donald Trump, it almost became an avalanche of like, I hate you. Ah! Like, and then people started making piñatas and people started picking one individual and just literally like going after them and just, yeah. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it a tit for tat? Now people were like, well, he said all these things. And the question becomes, are we a society where it's an eye for an eye? Is that the kind of society we are? So these are questions that I have about humanity. I know that I'm just tired. I'm just tired of hearing these negative things from Donald Trump and about Donald Trump. And I'm tired of hearing just negative things in general. I'm not going to vote for him. I believe that he is definitely not even someone who is up to par for running for office based on his level of education about the world. That alone, and plus the insulting elements, and plus just the way he carries himself. At the same time, I don't think that we should be a society that picks one individual and just stones them. Because let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. So those are a couple things that I'm considering with in my mind. What do you think about the whole thought process, and is the best answer to just kind of not pay attention to it? Not for, because clearly there's plenty of people paying attention to it and going after this person. And I just think for me, going after someone doesn't help. I think that addressing the issue at hand helps, but going after someone does not. So, is that possible? Is it possible to talk about the issue, but yet not go after somebody? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hey, it rhymes, don't you know? I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful year. Take care.